Hey, I'm Ann with That Colorado Life, and I did a post today called Charcuterie What? So many people are intimidated by even saying the word charcuterie, so charcuterie, let alone making it. And really, it's just a meat and cheese platter with some fruit thrown in. So I am going to show you how to make a super simple platter. I actually have my brother and sister-in-law are coming in today, so I thought I'd have just a super simple small bite when they arrive because they have been driving for 11 hours straight. So first I have, you know, it's kind of good to balance your cheeses. So you want to do kind of a soft cheese, a really pungent cheese, and then kind of a general cheese that everybody likes. And I always like to kind of have an outlier. So my outlier today is a local habanero cheddar. So I think that'll really get them. And when I slice the cheeses and the meats, I try to do them in different shapes to keep it kind of interesting. So I think I'm just gonna kind of chunk these up to like thicker slices. And I also like to, it is fun to have, you know, just put a block of cheese on your board as well. It makes it easier, and it also makes for a more interactive experience with your guests. Okay, and I'm not making a really big platter today, as you can see, so I'm just gonna kind of lay the cheeses there, and then I have a summer sausage that has already been peeled, and this again is a local one to Colorado, which is kind of fun. So I'm just gonna do a little bit thicker slices, maybe like 1/8 of an inch. And then I am going to put them into little chunks. I'm gonna take a bigger knife and just kind of put them into chunks. And my love of charcuterie comes from, I'm a grazer. I do not love to sit down and order a meal. And that was one of the first things when I met my boyfriend, Joe. I'm like, I always like to sit at the bar, so that's been a little hard during COVID because the bars have been closed, or a cocktail table, and I like to share food and just kind of eat off each other's plates, and I love charcuterie. That's the perfect meal for me because I guess I love meat and cheese. So next, I'm gonna throw in, this is just a general sharp cheddar. I like Tillamook, and that's really because we went to Oregon a few years ago to Bandon Beach, and I actually toured the Tillamook place. So I really like that. And I think I'm just gonna kind of chunk these a little bit. Let's see. So I'm just gonna put them in little squares. Honestly, nothing fancy. And I'm just gonna put them here next to my, and I like to build little piles of height to keep things a little more interesting. And I also put in, I usually make my own hummus. I didn't because it's hot out and it's a Sunday. And so I just took some prepared hummus and I put it in a little custard jar. And then I have a spreadable, like a spreadable goat cheese. We have a lot of goats around. So this is a local goat cheese with some herbs. Love this, easy peasy. So I'm just gonna put that on the corner. Let's see, I'm gonna throw in some grapes because they're colorful and everybody needs to eat fruit. And then you can kind of move things around, again, to keep it interesting. Add some more little block cheese. I love, okay, so this is a find from one of our local farmers. You know, I was there last week and she's like, everyone's used to the dark green cucumber, and she's like, you have to try these. I'm addicted and I have to figure out how to grow them myself. They're silver slice cucumber. Look for them, find your local farms, they're everywhere. So I'm just gonna slide, they've been washed. I don't peel these. They don't have a lot of seeds and they don't have a tough skin. And so these are really good, just eaten fresh. You can throw a little sea salt if you want to, but they're also just really good dipped in the hummus. So I'm just gonna slice some of these. I'm slicing them at the diagonal. You get a bigger surface area, plus they just look really pretty. Let's see, I'm just gonna kind of throw these up here like that. Slice some more. We'll just kind of go like this. So I also have, and I will do a video on it if you would like. We have Colorado peaches, so it's a really big thing. We have Palisade peaches. They come around end of summer, and then they last until kind of mid-October-ish. So I made homemade fresh peach jam. Super easy, no sugar, love it. So I always have some of this in the freezer, and that's really good for that kind of sweet sour bite on top of a cracker with cheese on top. Speaking of, you know what I'm gonna do? I have some dried salami. So I'm kind of, let's see, I'm gonna slice these in just long, thin slices, because then it's kind of perfect to throw on a cracker with some cheese. But you can obviously slice them any way you want to. So we're gonna put these over here. And you can kind of see from an aerial, it's starting to take shape. So really what you're doing now is just kind of filling the spaces. Let's see, I also have, so my boyfriend is obsessed with Gouda. So I have a really nice Gouda here. So I am going to, oh my God, it's so good. It's super creamy, really rich. And this is just a straightforward Gouda. It's not a smoked Gouda, and it's not a goat Gouda. It's a cow's milk Gouda. Ranger Joe does not like goat Gouda. I'm gonna put them into little triangle-like things. And I'm gonna have a sip of wine, because every time you make charcuterie, you must have wine. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my triangles. I'm gonna kind of maybe stand them up a little bit for some height. Again, we eat with our eyes first, and so we always want the food to be really pretty. It doesn't even matter what you're making, as long as it's pretty, it's gonna be fabulous. And then I'm gonna put in, I really like figs. They're really sweet, kind of tangy, and there is nothing better than some cheese just right on top of a fig. So these are Black Mission figs, and you can see how pretty they are and just what they add to the plate. So I'm just gonna put them around. I just have a couple. I'm putting them around in a little group of 2. If they have kind of that tough stem, just cut it off. And they're already washed, so we're just gonna put that over here. And what am I missing? As you can see, this is a really little charcuterie board, which is absolutely perfect. There's only gonna be 5 of us, and you don't really wanna fill your guests up on your charcuterie board, because you want them to eat your fabulous meal that you've prepared. Unless this is going to be your full meal, then you just kind of make it a little bit bigger and fill it up. I'm gonna add my crackers in, and I kind of like them just to fill space. And they don't have to be anywhere particular. Let's see, we can squeeze a little bit by the peach jam, a little bit here by the cheeses, and you can always add more. You want to have a little spaces in between, because less can be more. And I also make homemade. It's a garnish for any type of food, but people call it in Colombia they call it ají. In Mexico they might call it more of a picante, more of a salsa. We have so many peppers this time of year. So I go to the farmer's market, I load up on every pepper you can imagine, don't care what kind it is, spicier the better, but I do like the balance between the mild and the really spicy. And then it's kind of sweet and sour. There's a lot of vinegar in it, a little bit of sugar, and then I can them, and it lasts throughout the entire winter. So this is gonna go on here as well. We're just gonna plop that right there and move the cheese over. And I think we're good to go. I think we've got our wine, we've got our charcuterie, and all we're missing at this point is our guests. So follow along with me. I love to cook. You can follow my page. On Instagram, it's that.coloradolife. And on Facebook, it's That Colorado Life. And I do a lot of interesting things going on in the community. I live in Northern Colorado. And I love to cook. So I'd love to share my recipes with you if you want. Any tips, any tricks. I make everything from scratch. So I loved having you here today.